episode is brought to you by Aho Seamless Gutters. Whether you're building a new home, replacing old gutters, or just want to protect your biggest investment, Aho Seamless Gutters has you covered. They proudly serve communities across Northwest and West Central Minnesota with quality craftsmanship and dependable service. Learn more or request a free estimate by visiting mnahoseamlessgutters.com, or you can follow them on social media.
Welcome back to Real Feel Insights. We're going to start right where we left off last week with Margo just finding out that she's pregnant with quadruplets. Enjoy.
So as you're praying for 4 heartbeats, and there were, that was kind of the first breath of fresh air, but also terrifying because now begins a new journey. So that was the spiral of reading everything I could, diving myself into what does a pregnancy with quadruplets look like? What do I need to know? How is this move forward from here? So I read every book I could read, did everything I could do, lots of appointments, extra appointments. I had a really good OB who was very well versed, lots of good knowledge, which was helpful. So doing all the things, and my pregnancy, being pregnant with 4, it should have been a clue when I was so sick at the very beginning. Morning sickness was really all day sickness.
Okay.
Even when I went to sleep.
Wow.
I would wake up in the middle of the night because I didn't feel good. And my best friend had said, she was so supportive, and she would say, I wish I could tell you it will get better, but I've never been pregnant with quadruplets, so I really can't tell you that it will get better. And I was, until probably about week 16, week 18, it really was all day sickness.
Okay.
All day sickness.
I'm gonna just quickly go back. So 12 weeks. That's sometimes, like if people have had miscarriages, they try to get to that 12-week mark. I don't know why, but that's kind of the spot. Did you tell people right away, or did you wait till you got to that 12?
We wanted to wait.
Okay.
We wanted to wait till 12 weeks. That's kind of like you said, the big milestone marker. We could not.
Okay.
I was working in a very small setting, and so my coworkers, they knew I had all day sickness, and I actually worked with one of my aunts, so she knew pretty early on before other people knew
That you were pregnant.
that I was pregnant.
Okay.
Because I was constantly having to go to the bathroom.
Right. Well, in your workplace,
Yeah.
your workplace needs to kind of know too.
They
if
do.
you're really sick.
By week 10, by
okay.
week 8, I was having to adjust my waistbands.
You were growing already.
I was growing.
Wow.
So I was having to do the ever famous hair tie trick of trying to,
Oh, sure.
make your regular clothes still work. But by 10 weeks, I was full-fledged maternity clothes.
Okay.
So we could not wait until 12 weeks
Sure.
to tell people because there was no hiding it anymore. So that was kind of that, really April-ish
Okay.
where we had to tell our parents. And it was the, April Fool's has passed moment. But we got to have some fun with it. So I tried to wear baggier clothes so that it kind of hid it a little bit. But the day that we told both of our families, I wore a fitted t-shirt and I hid behind Matt a little bit. So, and they were all anxiously waiting so that he had said, we have some news to tell you, and they were like, oh, really, really, really? And so we're like, but that's
They have no idea.
They had no idea. So then, he had said, yep, we're pregnant, but that's not all. And so then they're like, wait, what do you mean that's not all? There's more than one. There's more than one, but that's not all.
Oh my gosh.
What? So like his mom really, really thought that it was all a joke.
Okay.
And then I stepped out from behind him. And I mean, I looked like I was about 20 weeks pregnant.
Wow,
Because
okay.
there were 4.
Right. Wow.
So then she actually believed us. I think my parents were more just in shock of like, oh my gosh.
Right. Right.
What is this going to entail?
Right.
So we told both of our families, and immediately, the preparation began of what do I need to know? What is this going to look like? So lots of doctor appointments, learning all the things. Everything went really, really well until it didn't, aside from being sick, like I had mentioned. I felt really, really good from about week 18 to 22. So I had like 4 weeks in there where I got to love being pregnant. And I mean, it was really hard too because like people would see me and they're like, oh, I bet you're ready to have that baby. I bet you're miserable. And it's like, you don't even know.
There's
Like,
4 in there, and I'm not even
First
halfway.
there's 4, and I sure hope not because like we're
Right,
barely 20
right,
weeks.
right.
But also like you wait so long to be pregnant
Right.
that you just
Right.
you want to enjoy it.
Right.
You don't want this pregnancy to be over
Right.
yet. Being high risk, having high order multiples meant that I had to see a maternal fetal specialist as well, in addition to my OB. So in the beginning, I saw him, and he came up from Sioux Falls. So, I mean, this involves, specialists that aren't even in our area. And I would see him every 2 weeks, once a month. And so he got to know my OB well.
This is really a team effort from
It is.
the medical medical world, and I could only imagine from the medical world this is appetizing for them too because they can textbook study this stuff until they get their hands on a scenario and a situation and a patient that they get to actually
dive into and practice it.
and
use
practice.
it.
Yes, yeah. So this is very appetizing for for I'm sure the medical staff.
Yeah. So about week 18 is when I had to quit working.
Okay.
So, which was good. I was finally feeling good. I was on at-home bed rest, which meant off your feet as much as possible, and really doing a good job with that. And then by week 22, my body was just done.
It was done?
It was done.
What's that mean to you?
It couldn't stretch anymore. I couldn't keep up with the demand of trying to grow these babies.
Okay, we're at 22 weeks.
We're at 22 weeks.
And 40 is gestational full term.
Yes.
With 1. So I'm with quads. I'm sure you're thinking 30, and we're at 22.
So I was due in December.
Okay.
Mid to early December.
Okay.
So we were really hoping like Halloween babies, like October.
Okay.
If we could make it to October, we would be ecstatic. And this is August. So I ended up starting to have some contractions. So I did and they prep you for all of this stuff. So, you're supposed to drink a bunch of water, you're supposed to lay on your side, you're supposed to monitor it. And if they get too close together, then you're supposed to call them and go in.
Okay.
So I had told Matt, I was like,
These contractions are getting closer together.
These contractions are getting closer together. I drank the water. I laid on my side.
And we're 22 weeks.
We're 22 weeks. I really think we need to go in to be monitored. We made an hour and 15-minute drive in about 40 minutes or less. And I mean, he knew I was lying to him the whole way there because then he would be like, are they getting closer together? No.
And they were.
And they were. We were probably contractions about every 4 to 5 minutes. So I get there, get checked in. They get me all hooked up to all of the monitors, all the things. They check me. The on-call OB was a little frustrated that I wasn't already there. So then there's a lot of like this panic of she's 22 and a half weeks. Why wasn't she here? This is a first time, but all of the things. So
it's making your anxiety skyrocket
Yeah.
too. I mean, your anxiety already. If this medical staff's anxiety is showing, then
yes. So sign, you know, it's like 4,000 papers, and they had apologized. They're like, you have to sign for you, but you also have to sign all of these papers for every single baby. So I had 4 sets of papers for them that I had to sign, all of the things. So they get me down to my room. And again, it's all the little sprinkles of God that was just like part of all of it. So on Sunday, I had called my sister, who just lives like a mile away, and they're farmers. And with Matt's job, like I said, working out in Lakes Country, sometimes he's an hour out. Those roads are winding. So I needed to know I had somebody who could get me to the doctor at the drop of a hat if I needed to go. So she had agreed, yep, if you need anything, you call me.
Yep.
I'll buzz over. And I told her, I said, I don't even care if you bring your kids with you, as long as you are okay driving real fast if I need that. So Monday I called her and I said, you're off the hook. She was like, what? No.
Oh, you were already.
I was
so
already
Sunday you
there.
Had, okay.
So she's like, you're already there. I'm already here. Are they going to let you leave?
No.
I don't think so. I think I'm here for the long haul. So this is, 22 and a half weeks. They measured me, and I measured 42. So I was already at 22 and a half weeks, measuring bigger than a full-term pregnancy when they measured my belly. Unfortunately, and I was in the hospital for 12 days. They never measured me again. I wish they would have, but they didn't. So they gave me all sorts of meds, bought me some time, got my contractions under control, but they could only hold me off for about 12 days. So more sprinkles of humor and funny. I was there, and Matt had to go back home to go to work, but I was in the best place possible. So he would come for my maternal fetal appointments, my big ones. And I had a big growth ultrasound coming up. It actually was the day that I delivered. So he showed up the night before, and there were just things like I wanted to do belly pictures, which again, at the time, they weren't a huge thing. More people do them now. But I told him, I said, we need to do these pictures because once these babies are out, I can't put them back in.
Right.
Like, we need to do them. So we did our own makeshift pictures, hung up a sheet from the hospital, used our own just little rinky-dink camera, took them. The nurse came in at one point and she's like, what is going on here? And we're like, oh, we're going to take some pictures. And she's like, okay. So he came the night before, and usually he would just come in the morning before my maternal fetal appointments, but he came the night before. So the joke was he showed up, and I was like, why are you here? The appointment's not till tomorrow. Oh, you came for the high-speed internet.
Oh, okay. Priorities, man.
Priorities. And I mean, the chair he had was like,
Right.
Right. Comfortable to sit in, but not comfortable to sleep in.
But he had the high-speed internet.
But he had the high-speed internet. So
we're talking 20 years ago, so this is a big deal.
This is a
cute.
big
Thanks
deal.
for sharing that.
So the next morning, they actually showed up a little bit early, the doctor's appointment. Somebody canceled or something, so they took me to my appointment early. And the clinic was attached to the hospital, so they would just wheel me over to the clinic to do my appointments at the clinic side. And my appointments took a really long time because they had to do every measurement for every baby. So my appointments were probably like 2.5 hours, ultrasounds that were 2.5 hours long to get every measurement of the head, count every finger, count every toe, measure literally everything. And in the office, there was a picture of some hands holding a baby. And I saw this every appointment. Now, again, the timing of it, we had looked at it multiple times. And they start the ultrasound, and Matt said, because they start with a vaginal ultrasound to measure if you're dilated, effaced, all of the things. And at that clinic, the ultrasound tech can't tell you anything.
Okay.
Because we're not at
Sure.
the fertility clinic anymore. So they start with the vaginal ultrasound, and Matt says, "Are those feet?" And in some mild panic, she just said, "Yep, those are feet."
That were coming out through the cervix already?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And your water hadn't broke?
we're pretty sure that I had lost my plug like a day before.
Okay.
But they were like, "No, this is normal. This happens." But we really think that I did.
Yeah. This happened? What happens?
So you like lose your mucus
Right.
plug, which is before. But because I was on all of these medications, like I had to measure every time that I went to the bathroom. Like I had to keep track of my fluid intake and my output to make sure that I wasn't retaining water and all of the things. So like I had to like pee in a hat. So it was there. So I think she had spoke to the maternal fetal doctor just to be like, FYI, like she's significantly dilated. So she continued on with the rest of the ultrasound because they also needed all of that information. And one of my biggest panics was, what if they don't deliver these babies in the order that they are? Because again, with the classes, you have to have everything planned. So our baby is A, B, C, D, and they start closest to the cervix. That's your baby A. And then they go around from there. You are supposed to have them named. They don't want you naming them in panic. You need, so talking about being a planner, this really wasn't my idea of how I like to be so planned, but hindsight, I get it now. Like if something goes south quickly, they don't want you to have to make decisions in those moments. So by 15 weeks, when most people are just starting to tell people they're pregnant, like our babies are already named.
And they, because there's so many, and they're tight and they're already at 15, 16 weeks, they never moved. So A stayed A, B, C, and D.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
And so they were named. We knew who they were. All of the things. But I always worried, like, what if they don't take baby A out first? How do we know that that's still Kaylin? How do we know? But the ultrasounds were so good that they said, if we take baby C out first, we can align it with their growth measurements.
Sure, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I trust you.
Yeah.
So we're in this ultrasound, getting all the measurements, not realizing that I actually am in labor.
Are you contracting?
Well, I was having mild contractions, but at this point, like, we had them under control. They weren't painful anymore, and they were much more spaced out. So, like, we really thought things were cruising along nicely. So Matt asks about the feet, like, all of the things that it's like, I get it now. So my doctor comes in, and he tells me, we're going to change your meds. We're going to buy you 1 to 2 days. That's when the real panic set in. Because we knew 1 to 2 days, I'm only 24 weeks and 2 days. 1 to 2 days doesn't even get us to 25 weeks. And 18 years ago, viability, where they would actually attempt to save a baby, was 24 weeks. Anything before that, I mean, they would sort of try, but babies before 24 weeks were not considered viable.
Right, and we're talking one baby. So we have 4, so birth weight is down anyways,
Yes.
compared to having 1, a singleton. Okay. So you're panicking beyond panic, I'm sure.
Panic, and that picture, the little model, before he had told us that they were going to change our meds, Matt had asked, like, how big is that baby? Like, how
big
many
is-
weeks
what
in
baby?
this, like, there
the
was this
picture.
model.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And the doctor had said about, like, a 24-weeker. We're like, oh, okay, well, that's about how big our babies are. And then shortly after that was when he had told us that he was going to change my meds to buy us 1 to 2 days. All of the things. Like, that's the size of our babies. We are only 24 and 2. One of the things that we really had in our favor, my OB actually went on vacation the week I delivered. And there was a different OB who was just going to be seeing over me, just monitoring me, all the things. But something that was really controversial at the time were the steroid shots that they would give. They give them to me, but they help the baby's lungs because at the time, when the babies are that size, their lungs are really sticky.
Okay.
So if they're born really early, their lungs literally like stick together like a balloon. They don't inflate again. But there really weren't studies on giving those steroid shots before 24 weeks. So my OB is on vacation, and we had asked, could we do them early? And again, he was very wise. Studies show that they're not beneficial. Okay, you're the doctor, we'll trust you. So the OB that was going to see over me came in just to introduce himself a few days before where we're at right now. And Matt had asked him, he said, what are your thoughts on doing the steroid shots early? And he said, I'm thinking about it.
Do it, yeah. Okay.
And he said, okay, well, the other doctor had said studies show that they're not beneficial before 24 weeks. And he said, correct. But there are no studies done before 24 weeks. You can't base something off something that's never been tested. Nobody's ever done the tests on babies before 24 weeks. So we don't actually know. But he said, we can give them to you more than once. So he said, I really think I'm going to give them to you early so that way we get them both in. Another God moment of he actually gave them to me, and you get them 2 days back to back. So you get the first shot one day, and then the next day you get the second shot.
So you got both of those in before you delivered that second day in the evening?
I got both of them in. If he would not have done them early, I would not have gotten both shots in. The God moment being my OB went on vacation. A different doctor was seeing over me that said, we're going to try it. There's no harm in it. If those two things wouldn't have happened, I fully believe that our kids would not have survived because they were so small. So all of these moments that are just like floating through your mind. We finished with my doctor appointment. Gonna change my meds, buy me 1 to 2 days. They wheel me back to my hospital side room. And my nurse came in completely gowned up. And I looked at her and I said, why are you dressed like that? And she said, we're delivering today. And then I was like, give me my 1 to 2 days back. Like, these are 24 weekers. 24 weeks. So that, and I mean, and it was just like this surreal moment of like watching things happen. Everybody coming in, doing all the things. Did you eat today? When did you eat? Why did you eat? Well, because we didn't think we were delivering. We had some people from our church. I think there were 2 people that our pastor and his wife were coming to visit. It was his hospital day. So they were already on their way to the hospital. Had they not already been on their way, they never would have made it because it was so quick and such a whirlwind. They wanted to deliver these babies on their time, not in the middle of the night. So many people in and out of my room, making sure I'm ready, that they have everything in place. Matt had called our pastor and his wife, already on the way, thank goodness. If they would not have already been halfway to the hospital, they never would have made it in time. So we found out later, which was kind of funny, that he literally parked the car, threw the keys to her, and said, meet you up there. And he ran. They were starting to wheel me out of my room to go down to surgery. And we had asked them if we could wait and pray for when our pastor got there. And they said, we don't have time. And no more than them saying that, he showed up out of breath, literally had run from the parking lot. So we got to say a prayer before they wheeled me down. And because there were 4 babies and we needed 4 isolates, 4 teams from the NICU, like they had to call people in on their day off. They don't have that many extra people on staff in the NICU to be able to be ready for that at the drop of a hat. Prior to this, they had visited me multiple times to go over all the statistics if you were to deliver today. And then, 2 days later, if you were to deliver today. So the statistics were that at 24 and 2 weeks, that
24 and 2 days.
Yep, 24 weeks, 2 days. There was a 50% chance of survival. So we were talking about maybe bringing 2 babies home, not healthy babies. They would be sick. They would be very high needs, lots of issues. Again, this was the journey that God had taken us on. So we just prayed and continued on.
This prayer was really powerful for you, that your
Very
minister
much.
had gotten to you in time before going into surgery.
Yes. I mean, 30 seconds later, and I would have already been in an elevator. So the fact that he made it, and how close it was, by the time that she made it up to my room, I was gone. So had he walked?
She, meaning your minister's wife?
Yes.
Okay. You would have been gone down into surgery. Okay. All right.
So they get me all prepped. Matt's waiting outside. Get everything ready to start. My delivering OB, because remember, my OB is still on vacation, he actually had to yell twice in the operating room for people to be quiet because there were 32 people in there. Every team for each baby was making their plan, but it was so loud. So he had to yell twice, like, you guys have to be quiet. I can't even think. And right before he got ready to deliver, he leaned over the blue little curtain thing and he said, right about now, I'm really glad we did those steroid shots early. So we had said the one thing we wanted was to hear them cry because we figured that was all we were going to get. And we knew that they would be intubated right away because they were so small. The only baby we did not get to hear cry was Taylin. She was our first.
That's baby A.
Baby A. And we didn't get to hear her cry because it was still so loud in there. We were told she did cry. And actually, one of my really good friends, she was the first one.
To hold her? Okay.
And her joke was, being in a room with 32 people, you want to make sure you're doing everything correct, and you don't want to break sterile field because that screws everything up. So she said, all I kept thinking was, don't drop the baby, don't break sterile field. Don't drop the baby, don't break sterile field. So she was the first one who got to hold one of our babies, take her to the isolette. Then they took out baby B, which was Cade. Baby C was Hoyt, and he was our biggest, and he had the whole middle. So Taylin and Cade were way at the bottom, and Avery was shoved way up under my rib cage.
So we have 2 girls, 2 boys.
2 girls, 2 boys.
Okay.
In the moment that they took Avery out, was one of the hardest. Because I could breathe again.
What? Say that. I'm sorry, what?
I could breathe again.
You could breathe?
Because they were so tight. I struggled to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And when they took her out, my lungs could fill again.
Mm-hmm.
It was that moment of gratitude for being able to do something I hadn't been able to do in so long, but also knowing I could breathe, but they couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
My body just couldn't do it anymore. It couldn't expand anymore. For being 24 weeks and 2 days, they were good-sized babies.
Mm-hmm.
Avery was our smallest at 1 pound, 4 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
Talon was 1.5. Cade was 1.6. And Hoyt was between 1.9 and 1.10. Matt got to see them all before they went up to the NICU. But because of the medication they had me on, I didn't get to see them for a day and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just so sick that I physically was unable to even get in the NICU. We had a Caring Bridge site, so he had been updating that, which is why he needed the high-speed internet. So he went in and took pictures, and then he posted them on our Caring Bridge site. Mm-hmm. And everybody had commented, they look so big, they look so good. Mm-hmm. And so he had to go back in there, and he said, we have to do something people don't understand. Mm-hmm. They don't understand how little they are. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, we'll put them with an ink pen.
We'll put them with a what?
Ink pen.
Oh, an ink pen, writing pen, okay.
Because they were only 11 to 12 inches long.
Okay.
So then he went back in. They sterilized an ink pen, put it in there with them, mm-hmm. which gave size reference. Mm-hmm. And people caught on very quickly that mm-hmm. they weren't quite as big and healthy looking. Mm-hmm. Their skin was translucent. You mm-hmm. could see through it. Mm-hmm. All of the things that mm-hmm. go with having a baby so tiny. Mm-hmm. I kept sending him in every time that he came back to my room, and he started getting frustrated with me because it would take like 5 minutes to scrub in.
Right.
Because you had to scrub in, you had to clean under your fingernails. Even if you had just come back, you still had to do the whole process. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I need you to go back and check on them again. I need you to go back. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't think you understand mm-hmm. all of the work that mm-hmm. goes into going to check on them.
In the NICU.
In the NICU. Mm-hmm. They were ready for them, which we knew. They had given us a tour of the NICU before they delivered. Mm-hmm. They had their isolates already plugged in, warm. Mm-hmm. They were ready for them. Mm-hmm. We were not. They were ready. Mm-hmm. Their journey while in the NICU was 1 step forward, 2 steps back mm-hmm. the whole time. Mm-hmm. Kind of like our infertility journey. It was whatever his path is, that's the path we'll take. We were never put in a situation where they said, we have no more options. Mm-hmm. There was always, we can try this. Mm-hmm. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, mm-hmm. we'll have to revisit. Mm-hmm. It was not easy, but we were never put in the situation where we've exhausted all options. Mm-hmm. Interesting enough, those 2 sets of twins that we both prayed for, it's kind of funny because we sort of got exactly that. None of them are identical. They're all fraternal. But 2 of them are all Matt. His likes, his dislikes, his temperament. The 2 of them are all me, my likes, my dislikes, my temperament. But even while they were in the NICU, 2 of them were our respiratory babies. They just didn't want to breathe on their own. If you have this machine that will do it for me, perfect. I will let the machine do it.
Sure.
So Taylin and Hoyt, they're Matt's too. So we always joke, like, those are your kids.
Sure, yeah.
And people who are like, wait a minute.
Sure.
Aren't they all of your kids?
Right.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
So Taylin and Hoyt were our respiratory 2. They're the 2 that just didn't want to breathe on their own. I'll let the machine do it for me. Avery and Cade were our intestinal 2. So really micro preemie. So that's sub 2 pounds.
That's what micro preemie means, is under 2.
Yep,
Okay.
under 2. It's really common for them to get what's called NEC, N-E-C, and it's necrotizing enterocolitis. And basically what happens is their intestines just perforate, they bust open, and anything that is going to their stomach just goes anywhere.
Okay.
It is highly fatal. Usually within 24 hours, the baby will pass once they have that because the infection is so great and they are so small. Avery and Cade both had it. Their intestines are so sensitive and fragile that when they do the surgery, which is also why they try to hold off, they cannot use any metal tools. They have to do it with like Q-tips. Any metal that touches their intestines, it kills it. And then
It's fatal.
it's fatal. By the grace of God, they both managed to make it successfully through that, which is 2 miracles in itself.
Wow.
The 2 were respiratory babies, which wasn't really necessarily their biggest issues. So like Hoyt's bigger issue was his eyes, because micropreemies, their eyes don't remember the right rate to develop. So he actually had laser eye surgery to hopefully try to save his eyesight when he was 3 months old, which worked. It's amazing. Like, he struggles with some peripheral vision now, but we remind him and his friends and everybody, like, you can see.
Okay. Okay.
If it would not have worked, the talk was either going to Cleveland or Philadelphia, but there was no guarantee. So Hoyt's biggest issue was his eyesight. Taylin's biggest issue was she was silent aspirating, and they couldn't quite figure it out. So she actually had to stay at the NICU for about 2 weeks after the others had left. So leaving the NICU without any of them when they were born was hard, but we were prepared for that. We knew that.
Sure.
Leaving the NICU with 3 babies
And leaving one
and
behind.
leaving one behind.
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. The thing that helped was, by this point, they had been there for 5 months. The doctors and nurses were like family. So we knew that she was in great hands. The NICU journey itself, definitely, it was a roller coaster, for sure. If somebody would have told me, after reading everything I read, you will leave with 4 healthy babies, I would have told them they were crazy, because that's not how it works.
It's not heard of.
It's not heard of. When they were born, there were 2 world records that they held. Earliest born, all 4 surviving, and lowest combined birth weight, all 4 surviving. And it's the all 4 surviving that's the kicker. Like,
Remarkable.
it is remarkable. Like,
Wow.
they are 4 walking miracles, without a doubt. And all of that infertility stuff, that whole journey is what set us up to be able to make it through the NICU journey, the heart surgeries, the intestinal stuff, the respiratory stuff. That God knew what he was doing through that piece to set us up for, you're going to need that faith in the future. A good friend was asked how we were doing, and she had told them they're living in the palm of God's hand. And we really did. We had to. It was the only way that you kind of make it through all of that.
Living in the palm of God's hand. That's telling me two things. You're trusting and you're being loved.
Absolutely.
That is a very difficult task, Margo, for a lot of even his faithful children, to be going through a trial, or a struggle, and to put it into those terms is so unbelievably beautiful. Yeah. You were living in the palm of God's hands, day by day, minute by minute.
Watching them get on a school bus to go to preschool, the celebration. And a lot of people celebrate their kids are going to school. Woohoo! Ours was that they able-bodied got on that bus under their own power. That was never a given.
That was never a given.
That was never a given. And to celebrate that is huge. And you blink, and they're 17, about to be 18 in mere weeks.
Margo, I was excited for you to join us on Real Feel Insights about having 4 babies. I had my own feelings about it, the panic, the excitement. I didn't realize that there was a journey, that you had a 5-6 year journey here of infertility. But this was bigger, and it was even better. Your story, you and your husband's story of 4 beautiful souls that are with us in this world, and how that journey came about. What was so unbelievable for me was, and I don't know, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but you radiate God's joy, God's love, God's mercy, God's trust. You radiate a true believer's life. It doesn't come void of suffering. It doesn't come void of not trusting. It doesn't come void of not, it's problematic. It's been a problematic journey. But through it all, you have very, very boldly, very, very refreshingly spoke of God's love through all of that. That is what has been so fun, beyond what I thought was going to come from today's conversation. So I want to share that with you, Margo. Keep shining. Radiate your love. I'm going to ask you, just to kind of bring this kind of full circle. So you said, Margo, you're 46?
47.
47. What would you like to tell a younger Margo? Let's go 25, just when you got married, and you're starting to want, maybe you're married and you're trying to have children. What would you like the 47-year-old Margo today? What would you like to tell the 25-year-old Margo?
I don't know, because I always felt like whatever God's plan was His plan. Probably just that you'll make it.
You'll make it.
You'll make it.
There was times where you didn't think you were going to make it?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
That you'll make it.
You'll make it.
Keep putting one foot in front of the next. And
with God by your side, you'll
okay.
make it. Yeah.
Wow. Very, very profound, very impactful, but not very many, not a big, bold, long statement. I love those. You'll make it.
You'll make it.
Keep trusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
For sure.
thank you, Margo.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining me on Real Feel Insights, sharing with us some very intimate, things that you and your husband went through. But also, I know for a fact that you came on here so that you can bring hope for somebody that maybe is in infertility right now and dealing with that.
Yes.
And then how blessed when you trust, how blessed a person can truly be. It's amazing. So thank you, Margo,
Yes.
for joining me on Real Feel Insights.
Thank you.
So I want to just let you, as the viewers and listeners, know that the episode we have here with Margo, there was so much that we could have brought to you, but because of time, we are going to continue this at a later time. So don't think we forgot to ask these questions about, like, what was it like when you first brought the 4 children home? What was it like when, the amount of diapers, formula, and all those questions? I am literally just dying to find out some of those questions, and I'm sure just like you guys are too. But what we're going to do, just because of time, we're going to just extend this episode at a later time, and I'll be able to ask her all these questions of how it was to actually be a mother to 4 children and to raise them.
Remember, this episode was sponsored by Aho Seamless Gutters, keeping your head out of the gutter since 2012.